I, a 28-year-old male, want to adopt my sister after my dad's death. My wife, 28 female, refused because we agreed on no children. Is there a way to fix this? Okay. Um, Wait, hold on. Is the Okay, I just wanted to make sure the update was in here. Okay, so I, a 28-year-old male, have been married to my wife, 28 female, for 2 years. We do not have kids and we do not plan to. I have a little sister, 11-year-old female. Due to the age gap, I am more like another father than a brother. My father passed away from pancreatic cancer. There are two options for my sister. Either I take her in or my uncle, dad's brother. So we asked her who she wanted and she chose me. Here was the problem. My wife and I decided that we did not want kids. Okay. So she does not want to adopt my sister, especially since my uncle can. But my sister has no parents now, and I want to make sure she is able to recover and be healthy. And since she wants to be with me, I will not force her to be with our uncle. She is causing a lot of tension with my wife. Things escalated and finally told her I am doing this whether she agrees or not. She can either accept it or we get divorced. We have not talked since then. What can I do in such situation? TLDR, dad died. I will adopt my sister. My wife does not want that. Tension is rising with my wife. Okay, so it I understand that you're like, yeah, your father passed away. That is really unfortunate. But it's like I also understand that it's like she's not your actual child. She's an 11-year-old sister who is now parentless. It's like that's not really the same thing as like adopting someone into your family because she's already family. It's like that's not remotely the same thing. It yeah, she could go live with her uncle, but she doesn't want to. She wants to live with the the original poster. So I was like, huh, like what is that even? What is the wife's problem? It's like I honestly don't get what the issue is. It's like she's already family. It's like saying like, oh, I don't want like someone to like move in with us, like some random person, because I don't want kids. It's like it's not remotely the same situation. Um, that's just my take on it. I think that the wife is kind of overreacting. It's not remotely the same thing as having your own kid. It's like she's 11 years old. She's almost a teenager at this point, and it's like I personally would say like if I could, I would let my siblings move in, despite the age difference. It's like I don't care. It's like if I had the space and I could, I would let my family member move in because she has nowhere else. Well, I would say it's nowhere else to go, but it's like she doesn't want to go anywhere else. So that's just my take on it. But let's read the update. I talked with my wife again. She still refused as she does not want kids. Again, it's not remotely the same situation. So we basically decided to go our separate ways. She said, "You really are choosing your sister over me." I told her I do not want to go into this discussion again, but if that is what you want to hear, then fine. Yes, my sister takes the priority now. I am choosing her over you. This was our last conversation. I have been living with my sister for 1 week now. Being a single fatherish brother is definitely challenging, but I am really enjoying it. TLDR, I got separated from my wife. I'm taking care of my sister. I would absolutely choose my family member over my partner. Absolutely, 100%. Because I've known my. I wouldn't have known my family member longer than I would my partner. Because the original poster said that they were only married for 2 years. And it's like, it doesn't say how long they were together for, but it's like 2 years versus 11 years. I would choose the 11-year-old or like the 11-year-old sister over my partner any day of the week. Like that's just how it is. It's like I think that the wife was being really selfish and it was not really a good situation altogether. So I think the original poster dodged a bullet with her. Let's see what the comments say. Um An important takeaway from this mess: if you have a child/children, you must have a will, and you should absolutely make arrangements about who takes guardianship of your child/children in the event of your death after having serious conversations with these people. It may seem morbid, but it is so important. Edit. Also, update these arrangements regularly as people's circumstances change and the needs of children change as they age. I mean, that's true. It's like the father should have arranged something to do it just in the case, but it's like people don't expect that they die in like just all of a sudden. So I find that to be a weird take. It's like just a little bit. It's like I agree with it a little bit, but I also disagree with it a little bit. Next comment. I think it worked out for the best. My father died when I was 14 to cancer, and my oldest half-sister, she's 21 years older than me, took me in, and it was obvious she didn't want me there. Some of the rules were no hugging or showing of affection from anyone towards me. She had a son who was 11. He needed all the affection, so none was left for me. Okay. I was allowed to go on vacation with them because I wasn't family. I wasn't allowed to spend weekends with them because that was family time and I wasn't family, etc. What? I ran away when I was 15, and she nor her husband ever reported me missing. A month after I disappeared, my best friend's parents reported me missing. I was brought back, and my sister refused to pick me up because the money she was receiving from me had stopped since I was no longer there. I told my story to explain this. It is better to not be forced upon somebody who doesn't want you, especially after losing your only parent. I'm thankful the sister has original poster who loves her so much, but I'm also thankful his wife removed herself. The sister is going to need all the help and love she can get to make it through this devastating time, and the resentment she would have felt from the wife would have only made things so much worse. You see, that makes sense. It's like if the family member doesn't want to like accept you into their home, that's a different story. It's like I would understand that. It's like if my partner didn't want it and I didn't want it, it's like I would understand the whole situation. You can go live with someone else. But the poster was like just saying like, "Oh, I want this. I want this situation." And the partner didn't want anything to do with it. So, like I said, the partner dodged a bullet, and it's like even in the comment it was like, why would someone who is supposedly family say that you're not family? It's like even if you're a half sister, you're still family. It's dumb. That's just my take on it. It's like some people are just absolutely like horrible when it comes to like who is considered family and who is considered not family. And like I said, if I was in this situation, I would absolutely take that family member in. If I had the space. If I didn't have the space, I would not be able to accommodate them. But like that's just how it is. It's like that's just so wrong of the partner. Anyways, moving on to the next story. Okay. My ex-husband and his new wife made my daughter a back brace out of wood and steel and forced her to wear it. Trigger warning, child abuse. Okay. So, this was from, I believe, 2016, March 2016. My daughter is 9, and we share custody by alternating weeks. My daughter says her back hurts now and her arm is tingling. I have a doctor's appointment for her on Monday, and in the meantime, I am trying to remain calm. I confronted my ex-husband about it, and all he would say was one text message where he says his new wife didn't like how my daughter slouched at the dinner table. They aren't doctors, and there is nothing wrong with her, and that she needs a brace. I freaking want to kill both of them. Is there a way I can get a quick court date and see a judge because I don't want her going back there? When we divorced, it took a long time to figure out custody. The location is the state of Florida. I'm so mad I'm having a hard time focusing. Okay, so it seems like the ex-husband and his new wife were making decisions for her rather than actually getting it diagnosed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they should have absolutely seen, like, okay, there might be something wrong if the arm is tingling and the back is hurting really bad, because I have my own back problems. I have scoliosis in my back, and I was going to a chiropractor for the longest time, and it was helping a little bit, but every so often it would just be like unbearable because it's like it would hurt so bad. Um, and it's like I don't know if the daughter has any medical issues. I believe the poster said that they were taking them to the doctor um within a couple days. But I'm hoping that in the update they say that they got to a doctor and they actually got it diagnosed, because if there might be some underlying issues under that. So let's read the update. Okay, this was what is it? 5 months later, August 2016. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for all their support in my first post and all the supportive private messages I received. It was really overwhelming in a good way. A few people asked for an update, so here it is. So a lot has happened since I first posted. I called into work while I was trying to get all this sorted. One of my coworkers has a cousin who is a lawyer, and she knew someone who was able to help me and file the paperwork. My husband played dumb in court, but his visits got reduced to supervised and he was ordered to take a parenting class. My daughter went to physiotherapy. Eventually, the court reinstated his visitation when he swore he had learned his lesson and was sorry, and with his otherwise clean record, the court agreed. I was against it, but the court ruled against me. I gave my daughter her own cell phone so she could call me whenever she needed to. On her second visit, it happened again. This time, the brace had steel and fabric instead of wood, and they took her phone too. Okay, that's not their property to take. The next night, she left when they weren't looking and went up the street to a neighbor who is a police officer. The neighbor called paramedics and her co-workers. They had to cut the brace off my daughter. My husband and his wife were arrested and they got out quickly, but they have been charged and their infant is with Child Protective Services. My ex lost visitation and custody. I'm working on making it permanent. Unfortunately, my daughter's shoulder was dislocated from the brace. It set back her rehab, and part of her arm is still numb and tingling. She needed surgery and is still recovering. She always played sports, especially at school, and did dance, but the doctor thinks she won't ever be able to lift her arm all the way up again. I hate my ex, and he'll see her again over my freaking dead body. Right now, I'm focusing on my daughter while my lawyer takes care of things. That's my update. What the hell is wrong with the ex-husband? It's like there's so many things that went wrong. I was not expecting that to go completely off the rails there. It's like it's like I understand that they have to they had to go to court, and it's like he got custody again. It's like I was hoping that he would have learned his lesson, but it's like it's like once he got custody again, he went right back to his like old ways, and it's like they took property that they took property that they shouldn't have taken. They uh, started to abuse their child, and it's like and like the brace that they use had to be cut off. What the hell is wrong with these people? I don't I don't understand what is going on here, but it's like good on the good on the mother for actually being a good parent compared to the ex-husband, because what the hell is wrong with people? It's like all kids deserve a good parent, but not all parents deserve kids. That is my take on it. It's like some people need to be thrown into a hole in the ground and never be released. It's just awful people. So this is why I don't want to have kids, because I'm afraid that I'm gonna do something where the child of mine is going to be affected in such a horrible way, because I can barely take care of myself. I have such bad like emotional baggage. It's absolutely horrible, and it's like I don't want to deal with it. It's like with me being autistic and all the problems that I have, it's like I would never ever want to bring a child into this world, especially nowadays. because it's like it's awful how people react to stuff. It's just stupid. Let's read some comments. Top comment. Can you imagine being the neighbor and answering the door to a kid in a torture device? That was my first thought. It's like it sounded like she was being put into like this contraption. Um and it's just absolutely horrible. It's like I never had to wear a brace. I don't think anyways. Especially with my back issues. So I probably should have at some point just to like realign my spine a little bit, but it I don't think I would be able to comfortably use it. All right. I have a lifelong disability from a dislocated shoulder. It's completely invisible to outsiders, yet still so awful to live with. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like I don't have a dislocated shoulder. I have scoliosis in my back, and it causes so many issues, especially in my neck, because my neck is like so like misaligned, I guess. It's like every time I'm like slouching or like I'm like bending over or whatever, my neck is just absolutely in complete agony. So it's like the shoulder blade is kind of the same way. It's not dislocated. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just really bad for my physical health. Let's read one more comment. I read this one before, and it is way beyond infuriating. I don't know what the girl's father was thinking. I hope he loses all custody, and she never has to see her abusers again. She has permanent damage because her stepmother didn't like her slouching. What is wrong with people? I hope they lose permanent custody of their baby, too. This is just sad the whole way around. Yeah, exactly. It's like, just because she was slouching, it's like, oh, I'm gonna put you in this contraption. Just awful people. Just completely stupid people. It's like I hope they lose all custody. It's like there was no other update after that point. Um Almost 9 years later, but I hope they lost custody. Um Completely. But we'll see what happens. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we'll see what happens, but who knows. Moving on to the next story. Company throws a corporate retreat at a plantation in southern Alabama with a period-appropriate costume ball. Only black guy that worked for the company shows up dressed as a slave. Again, really weird story. It's like a really weird title, I should say, because it's like, why would the only black guy show up as a slave rather than a plantation owner? It's really bizarre. We'll find out probably. Okay, so hi, I'm Original Poster, the most deliveringest OP in history. As a lot of you already know, I had to attend a corporate retreat this weekend. This happened to take place on a southern plantation in Alabama. There was a period-appropriate costume ball scheduled for the end of the trip, but they apparently forgot about me. The lone black guy employee. Hilarity ensued. Okay, did they... Is there another comment? Hold on. No, there isn't. Okay, that's really bizarre. It's like why that is the shortest story I've ever seen on one of these subreddits. Okay. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay, so apparently it's just the title basically. It's like they showed up as a slave. So, anyways, let's read the update. Currently on the phone with boss and HR. Was wondering why the call wasn't with boss and the HR chick I deal with all the time. I now know why I'm dealing with the head of HR and not the usual chick, lol. Normal HR chick is the person I expected to hear from. Wasn't her because the damn party was her dumbass idea. She has been canned. I have been promoted with a disproportionate raise and better Benny's benefits, but I have been assured that this has nothing to do with anything that happened on the retreat. It just happens to be coinciding with HR Assistant Director Canning. So remember, kids, correlation does not equal causation. Okay, that's a really weird story. I wasn't expecting it to be that short. Like, I thought it was gonna actually be like something happens, but apparently not. Okay, there's actual comments provided this time. Anything you planned for the party that you missed out on? I would have paid to see you surprise a Confederate officer. Funniest / most clever thing I've seen on Reddit. Yeah, well done. That would be it. There was a super old couple, New England transplants from the South, who came with Confederate officer uniforms and were really proud of them. They kept talking it up and were probably the most excited out of everyone in attendance about the ball. After my reveal with the chick in the dress, they avoided me like the plague, the black one, and their uniforms were never seen. Okay. How did the idea pop in your head? Was it immediately when you heard the location theme of the retreat and party? Did your wife try to talk you out of it? Yeah, it was the second one. Oh, it was the second I read the theme. I was like, really? Well, I guarantee this means they forgot about me again. Wife was a little afraid I would get us in trouble, but we agreed that it would be okay as long as I didn't, like I planned to, make a name tag that said, my name is Kunta Kinti. Okay. While I was laughing my ass off at your post, how was the general reaction from everyone else in person who saw your hilarious costume set? The climate definitely got palpably stiff and awkward for the rest of the retreat. I was clearly avoided on more than one occasion. Apparently an off-color person with matching humor was a bit much for them, lol. On a scale of Canada to lost every shred of dignity, how apologetic were they? Is Super Canada an option? I am now the only employee who gets to decide if something like this is mandatory for me. I was given a minor increase in job responsibility that comes with a disproportionate raise. Not because of this or anything, you just do great work and it's been a long time coming. You know what they said about correlation does not equal causation and all. And final comment, where did you come up with the idea to be a party slave? I'm the only black employee, and I'm often forgotten about. The moment I saw the theme of the party, I realized I had, once again, been overlooked. I'm thinking this may be the last time that happens, lol. So he did it willingly. Like, he was playing into a racist stereotype. It's like, yeah, it's like, he's the only black employee, but that doesn't excuse it. It's like you're adding fuel to the fire. It's like I personally think that slavery was horrible, as most sane people do. And I think that, I think the party might have been a little bit in poor taste. And yeah, even if the original poster was overlooked, I think that playing into it is a little bit weird. That's just my take on it. I think that it's like, oh, like, I'm going to actually make this a funny thing than not. And it's like, racism isn't funny, in my opinion. It's like, I don't think it's funny. I think it's a serious topic. And I think the company that this person worked for needs to do a little bit better when it comes to planning stuff, racist or not. But that's just my take on it. It's like, I didn't realize the story was going to be so short. But anyways, moving on. Okay, so this is a more serious story. Trigger warning, like sexual abuse, and I guess a little bit of there's no really trigger warnings. There's just, in the title, there's a little bit of sexual abuse in it. My girlfriend was raped and became pregnant. I broke up with her because she wanted to keep the baby. Really shit situation. 2 months ago, my girlfriend was raped. It was done in a park. She didn't want to report it and went into a full breakdown. Wouldn't speak to police, go to hospital, etc. I couldn't force her, so I just stayed with her. She was obviously in a really shit state since. And I've been with her, by her side, listening to her, helping her. We went to therapy and she knows I'm there for her. Okay, you keep saying the same thing over and over. She has a history of depression and I've really been worried. Last week we found out she was pregnant. I was abroad for 2 months before the rape on work and came back early to care for her. So the baby definitely isn't mine. She is 100% sure it's the rapist. So we had a discussion. She is a devout Catholic. We initially decided on an abortion. But after she spoke to her mother, she has decided to keep the baby, saying that it isn't the baby's fault. I flat out told her that I would not help raise the baby of a guy who raped her. She cried and begged me not to leave. I told her she's the one making the choice. Either she keeps the baby and I leave, or she aborts the baby and I stay. I would not let this go. She didn't want either of those things to happen, so I told her we were done. I feel shit. Was I wrong? Well, you weren't wrong in your decision because although I think that women should have their own choice, like, of their bodies and whatnot. I also think that, like, people that say that they're pro-life and whatnot also have their own, like, valid opinion on it, because it's like, oh, like, if you don't get an abortion sooner rather than later, you're gonna eventually have the fetus be developed, and then it's actually gonna be like a actual person at that point. But the original poster was not in the wrong at all, not one bit. It's like he has his own valid like feelings, and it seems like the girlfriend didn't want to accept that, and it just didn't seem like she really cared about the dude, because it's like although the her being raped was absolutely horrible, and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I don't know what's wrong with people. Um it is not, you can't just force the the baby onto someone else who is completely uninvolved in that situation. It's like you just can't do that. It's just not right. Um we'll see what happens, because apparently there's multiple updates. I'll post the update first, since there has been some change since I last posted. Then I'll respond to some general points made from the last thread and the ton of private messages I received. Yesterday I received a call from my girlfriend. She was crying and she begged me to listen to her. I told her that I still care for her and that I'll obviously listen to what she has to say. She told me that a few days after I told her we were done, she called up her mother to talk about this. Apparently, what happened before was that she was pretty much decided on aborting. And then when she spoke to her mother told her that her mother told her that under no account should she abort, and that I was actually manipulating her to do so. Her mother went on to say if she aborted the child, she would no longer consider my girlfriend as her daughter. What the fuck? After I left her, my girlfriend called up her mom again to talk about what went on. My girlfriend said that she was desperately wanted to abort the baby, and her mother again said that if she does, this is the last time they will ever speak again. My girlfriend said she broke down on the phone, and her mother kept asking her what she would do. The conversation then ended with my girlfriend said she didn't know. Then she started texting. After a few hours of thinking, my girlfriend sent her mom a text saying she was going to abort. She was then blocked. My girlfriend then called me and told me everything. She will be having an abortion in 3 weeks. I discussed this with my girlfriend, and we both completely agreed that I had not manipulated her in any way, and that she appreciated that I put my foot down, because had I not, she would have had a baby who would remind her of the worst time of her life. Her words, not mine. She further went on to say that I am the best thing that has ever happened to her, and that she knew that even if she no longer had a mom, if she had me, she could get through this. I broke down at this point. I love her so much, in truth. I probably would have gone back to her and raised the baby with her, even though I knew I'd resent it. I made the original thread to get some backing rather than anything, to see if I had made the right decision. I'm so relieved things had turned out the way they have. Also, screw any mother who places religion over their own child. Friggin' lunatics. Now to respond to some of your points from the last thread. No, my girlfriend did not cheat on me. I am almost certain about this. Not only because she had the conscience of a fragile angel, but also because we both know each other's schedules really well, and we often talk to friends who can corroborate timings. Moreover, her roommate took photos of my girlfriend after she came home assaulted. It's not rough sex as some of you dicks put it. I don't give a rat's arse if you think abortion is a sin or the killing of a baby. Come and raise the baby, or give us money to raise the baby, and hire us a live-in maid to tend to my girlfriend's every need while she is pregnant, if you're so sanctimonious. Talk the talk, then walk the walk, you winking tit baboons. 3. My girlfriend was absolutely clear she wanted to raise the baby, probably influenced by the mom. Thanks for all the people telling me I did the right thing. It was really difficult. I'm very glad it turned out the way it has, though. 5. To the people who private messaged me telling telling me I'm a monstrous baby killer. I fail to see what my hobbies have to do with the issue. Thanks, Reddit. Okay, so screw the mom, like he said. It's like he was not manipulating her because he was, like I said, he had valid feelings about the situation. It's like he did not impregnate his girlfriend. Some other loser did. Some other criminal did, really. And the mom is like, oh, that's completely okay. That's fine. It's like, that's totally acceptable. Like, my daughter can be raped any day of the week. It's like, screw that mom. I was like, if my mom did that, I would cut her out of my life forever. It's like, screw that mom. It's like, that is awful behavior from a parent. It's like, oh, if you abort the baby that you were, like impregnated by a rapist, then I'm not going to consider you my daughter anymore. It's like, screw that. Screw that behavior. That's awful. Completely awful. And anyone who thinks that's justifiable, and it's like that there's no exceptions behind abortions and whatnot, it's like they can also go jump in that hole I was talking about earlier. Awful people. Stupid people. It's like, I have no idea why people like that exist. It's awful. But anyways, moving on to the update. Update number 2. I was hoping to post here again after the abortion, still scheduled for 2 weeks' time, but I thought I should provide an update on some recent events from a mother from the pits of Satan's rectum. See, this is what I'm talking about. On Saturday, I answered my door and stood face to face with 2 police officers. They asked me if I was who I was, and I replied I was. They then said they were looking for my girlfriend. I called her over, and the police officer said that he needed to have a word with her. The officers then split, one taking the girlfriend to the living room. We let them in, and the other took me into my bedroom. The officer who took me started asking me questions about how long girlfriend had been here, if she had any contact with anyone else, if she had left the house at all, and a few other questions. I answered and then asked what this was about, but the officer said they had received a report to check in on girlfriend. I asked who reported, and the officer said he couldn't say. The girlfriend. After a while, the other officer was done, and they both left. The moment they left, my girlfriend told me she was outrightly asked if she was in danger and if I had been hurting her. She was also asked if she was being held against her will. She said no to everything, of course. She said that the police received a call from her mother saying she might be in danger and that I could be abusive to her. What the fuck? I was fucking livid. I immediately said I was going to press charges against her. For what? I don't know. Harassment, maybe? My girlfriend begged me not, and said that it would all just blow over and that she just needed time to calm down. What the fuck? She sent police to my house to get me arrested. How is that sane thinking? I could lose my job if I was arrested and charged. What the hell is she thinking? I told girlfriend that if the mother does anything like this again, I would definitely press charges. So the girlfriend decides on Sunday to talk to the mom to not do anything like this again. They had a conversation for about 2 minutes, then I start hearing sobs. Immediately I walked into the room, saw my girlfriend was crying and still holding the phone against her ear. I plucked her phone from her hand and held her for a bit as I heard hello from the phone. Then I put it on me and said, "You're a disgrace of a mother," and hung up. Then I held the girlfriend for what felt like an hour before we started talking. Apparently, the mother was telling girlfriend how if she continues with the abortion, she would never see the mother again, or her brother, or her deceased father who is in heaven, even though he died a drunk, violent alcoholic who beat girlfriend. But hey, repent your sins at death, am I right? Because girlfriend would be going to damnation. I told girlfriend that if she was going to hell, then she should save me a seat and we'd be nice and toasty together. I love her smile. What do you think, if anything, should I do about the mother? No doubt my words to her will have some reactions. Response to some people from previous threads and private messages after the thread was locked. Abortion was never an option. Girlfriend was adamant she wanted to raise the baby influenced by her mother. If you suggest adoption anyways, then you truly do not understand just how taxing a normal pregnancy is, let alone one dipped in a beautiful cocktail of rape depression. You can believe my girlfriend cheated on me, that if that makes you feel better about your lives, I suppose. Just FYI, the pictures and roommates report showed she had a bloody nose, black eyes, cuts and bruises against her arms, hands and knees, torn coat and top, bruises around her neck. Cheating. Right. My girlfriend and I are still going to therapy about all this. What the hell is wrong with this mother? It's like, oh, he's manipulating you. And then you manipulate him and her. What the hell is wrong with you? It's like, the poster was right. It's like, this is Satan herself. What the frick? It's like, holy crap. It's like, this is absolutely wild. It's like, I am like hurting for these people. It's like I was saying before, it's like not all parents deserve kids, but all kids deserve parents. But it's like awful people. Just awful. It's just completely like it's just awful. It's just an awful situation all around. It's like I'm hoping that they cut the mother out of out of their life. It's like the mother seems to just be like a shitty person who has nothing better to do than ruin other people's lives. That is all it is, really. And I'm losing frames again. Awesome. Thank you so much. Um, okay. So, anyways, I had to end the stream portion of this just because I'm dropping frames like crazy, but I will continue the recording. The mother just seems to be an awful person who has nothing better to do than ruin other people's lives. That's the brunt of it. Um, if people decide it's like they want to continue that relationship, even though it's an extremely abusive relationship, it that's on them. But for me personally, I would not want to do anything with that type of stuff. But there is another update. I just wanted to update folk on this whole saga. This will be my final update. A few days ago, the abortion was carried out. During the weeks beforehand, my girlfriend went to a counselor and talked to a nurse about why she wanted an abortion. She was also tested for any STIs. She's clear. Oh, good. She went ahead with the abortion after getting the all clear. A few days ago, she was carried out. It was carried out. Then went for the surgical abortion method, which involved using a vacuum to suck the pregnancy out. Girlfriend said it was pretty painless, and she was able to return home after just a few hours. When she came home, she cried and cried and cried. She says she feels like a huge weight had been lifted, and she can finally look to moving on with her life. We took the whole week of work, and yesterday we went camping. It rained. Aw. While in the tent, she talked about how difficult life was sometimes, but she was really glad things turned out the way they did, because even though things were bad, she came out the other side probably stronger than before. She's amazing, man, seriously. Update on the mom. So my girlfriend received a call from her mom, who was asking if she went through with the abortion. Why are you still talking to the daughter at this point? You said that would be your last conversation, and then you just keep talking to her. My girlfriend and I have an agreement that if mom calls, either hang up or give it to me. In this instance, she answered, didn't know what to say, and gave it to me. I told the mom that the abortion went perfectly and smiled as she cursed at me for about a minute. And then I said, how Jesus of you, at which point she hung up. My girlfriend didn't find it funny. Anyway, that's it. Good luck to everyone in their lives. Also, if you're gonna message and insult me via private message, just be warned, I've killed a baby before. Okay, that's a little weird. It's like, oh, I'm a baby killer. Yeah! It's like, oh, okay, that's just that's a weird flex, man. But I hope that they live very healthy lives. It's like I'm hoping that the girlfriend never experiences what she experienced again. I hope the mom rots in hell. There's a lot of awful people nowadays that just try to make other people's lives like horrible and just try to make people like the butt of a joke, basically. That's all it is. That's really how the cookie crumbles, basically. Let's read some comments. Woman, if you have an unplanned pregnancy, if you are considering abortion, and if your parent can be overbearing in any way or make you feel less than, please be very careful speaking to them about your condition. You have authority over your body and your future, not them nor any other entity. Source, my parent was exactly like, I don't know what that says. Borat, I'm assuming boyfriend of original poster. I'm not entirely sure. Um, exactly like the mother. God rest them. I had to go no contact after having an abortion. To I had to go no contact after having an abortion. Too bad I didn't maintain the no contact. My parent pulled the same campaign on my sibling and their significant other. That went badly. My parent began a power struggle that ended in squalor, illness, death, kid being raised by weird relatives. Keep the baby or don't, but get the nut jobs out of your life. Seek local women's shelter help if you need to. I had such a hard time reading that comment just because I got thrown off by the acronym, which is completely unnecessary. Okay, I wonder if the mother knew that the rapist could have visitation rights to the baby. The willingness to want your daughter who has issues with depression to experience a pregnancy caused by a rape is a special kind of sick-minded person. Exactly, that's what I was saying before. It's like, oh, you got raped? Good for you. Have the baby still. It's like, awful. I fail to see what my hobbies have to do with this issue. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Um, Even you finding humor in the situation, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's like, yeah, and then the final line, people are like said like taking no shit from nobody. Basically, it's like, yeah, I just think it's a weird line to include, but that's just my opinion. All right, moving on. Um, okay, so my 29 female parents ghosted me 5 years ago after my wedding and now reached out. What do I do? Okay, so they ghosted you 5 years ago after your wedding. Were they invited to the wedding immediately? Like initially, I should say? Or did they know that you were getting married, ghosted you, and then reached out? I have no idea. We'll find out. Okay, the TLDR. I'm married to my former boss. Parents did not take the marriage as well as I'd hoped and ignored me for 5 years, only to reach out when they saw a fifth anniversary Facebook post that mentioned our kids. Do I let them back in or do I ignore them? My husband, 30-year-old male, used to be my boss. About 9 years ago, I started working as his assistant. We spent about 2.5 years ignoring our mutual attraction until we gave in. We then went to HR, who reassigned me, and the whole thing was strictly above board from the time we began dating. I got pregnant about a year later, and my husband and I decided to just get married. While we'd only really been dating for about 1.5 years, we knew each other completely, loved each other, lived together, and there was a baby on the way. We knew how it would look, but I had to leave the company anyway due to problems with my new boss, so we didn't anticipate this causing any issues, except with my parents. They, 62-year-old male, 57-year-old female, have always been overprotective, so I knew that they wouldn't like me dating my boss and hadn't told them, but I had to tell them if I wanted them at my wedding. We decided to be mostly honest with them about how it was strictly professional until it wasn't, how the second it got unprofessional we went to HR, how we had never taken advantage of me. But now we wanted to get married and we wanted them there. We did not mention the baby because I felt that giving them that information in addition to the rest all at once would just break them. I was only about 4 months along when the wedding happened, so the bump was easily hidden by a flowy dress. The wedding itself went off without a hitch, and apart from my mother pulling me into the bathroom shortly before the ceremony to ask if I was sure about this, which I said I was, my parents seemed to take it well. The ceremony and reception were at 2 different venues, and we had to travel from one to the other, and my parents never arrived at the reception. I called them and it got ignored. Then my brother called them and they told them that they were going home. I don't remember the exact reason they gave, but it amounted to them being tired and uncomfortable. I tried contacting them after the wedding, but found that I was blocked on everything except email, which I used to send them a long letter essentially saying that I'm an adult who made an adult choice, and I hope they can respect that. 5 years later, I have not heard from my parents since my wedding. My husband and I are not big on social media in general, but I recently posted something for our 5th anniversary in which I mentioned our 2 kids and third on the way. Within a month of making this post, my parents left a voicemail saying they saw the post and, having had no idea that they had grandchildren previously, now want to meet them. I haven't responded, and there have been a few follow-ups since then asking why I haven't. I don't know what to do, but my gut instinct is that 5 years is too long, and it's about the kids, not about them respecting my choices or relationship. However, I can't help but feel that I'm being unfair, and my brother agrees, because I told them in my email if they could learn to respect my choice and my marriage eventually, then we could talk, and now I'm retroactively applying a time limit. Edit. Can't find a way to work this in organically, but my husband is not white. I am, as are my parents. I don't think this is a race thing or that my parents are racist, and neither does my husband, and we don't understand why they would want to meet our mixed race children if they were racist, but this element is still gnawing at me. Should I reach out to them? If I did, how would we go about rebuilding the relationship? Okay, so it's like if my parents decided to ghost me for 5 years, and it's like, oh, we don't like your partner or whatever, it's like, at least be honest with me, because at that point it's like I would have a little bit of closure about it. And then if they just saw that I posted online about my family basically, and it's like, oh, we have grandkids, I want to meet them, it's like, no, you don't. You just want to be like, you just want that validation of being a grandparent. That's all you really care about. So you don't care about the actual, like, son-in-law or daughter or whatever. You actually care about that feeling of being validated. That's all you care about. And it's like, I honestly do think it has to do with race, because it's like, if you got blocked on basically everything for like no reason, it's like there was a reason. It's like they wanted nothing to do with you or your relationship with your partner. They wanted nothing to do with anything about your life or anything. And it's like, yeah, the original poster was an adult. They made an adult choice, and if you can't respect that, you can be cut out of their lives. That is just how it is. So this was originally posted in October 2021. And then the update was a couple days later. TLDR, they're racist. That's kind of what I figured. I asked to talk yesterday. We were on a Zoom within an hour. It was my parents and me and my husband. They asked to see the kids, and I said that they could see them eventually, depended on them earning our trust and convincing us they were going to be positive additions to the kids' lives. They asked to start by reading me a letter that they claimed to have written on my wedding day. It said that they were uncomfortable with me marrying my former boss, as they thought he took advantage of me. So they left between the wedding and the reception and to avoid a scene, but they wanted me to know that they were here for me despite their issues with him. They added that they would have sent this to me the morning after my wedding, but then I sent my email about them needing to respect my choices and that they were so ashamed that they couldn't bring themselves to send theirs. Seeing my anniversary post made them realize how much they missed in 5 years, and they really don't want to miss any more. I had some questions like what the big deal was with me marrying my former boss, and they said it just wasn't what they had in mind for my wedding day and my future spouse. I asked why they even came to the wedding at all if they didn't support the marriage, and my dad responded that he wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle as it was the only chance he'd get. The way it was phrased implied that they had intentionally only come to the wedding so he could give me away, and always planned to leave halfway, and because he said my daughter and didn't talk to me directly, it was pretty clear he was thinking about my older sister who passed away. My husband caught that too, and said that if they were talking about me, they should address me directly. Then added as that if they had planned to leave, they shouldn't have told us, as we wouldn't have invited them, and the fact that they waited 5 years to reach out was going to take more reasons than shame, as a father, he didn't understand how they could ignore their daughter for years and only get back in touch when we had kids. My dad snapped that he wasn't going to take this from a cushy, a slur meaning dark-skinned. My mother immediately tried to run damage control, but I ended the call. They have since messaged me several times trying to explain that Calling my husband a racial slur wasn't indicative of a racist attitude. Yes, it was. And he wouldn't have said that in front of the kids, so they would still get to meet them. I've spent 5 years wondering how they were so offended by me marrying my boss that it earned no contact for half a decade. Turns out they're just racist. It's almost nice to find out if it was just the boss thing, I would have sympathy for them, and we might even be able to reconcile. But with this, it's just now a question of if I'm going to knowingly expose my mixed race children to a couple of racists, which I am obviously not going to do. I had a kind of a feeling that they were racist because the fact that the original poster said that it's like that her partner was a person of color and that the parents were uncomfortable with the boss. It had nothing to do with her dating her boss. That has nothing to do with it because if she wasn't even working there, that would have they would have no issue with it. But since her partner was a person of color, that is what the issue was, and the update just kind of reinforced that point where it's like, yeah, they're racist, and then they used a racial slur, and they said, oh, it's not indicative of me being racist. Why is it in your vocabulary then? It's like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I'm hoping that the original poster didn't expose their kids to the parents just because it's awful behavior from the parents. It's like if the partner wasn't black or it wasn't a person of color, they would have no issue with it. They would have zero issue with any partner. It's like at all, and even if it was the same gender as the original posters, like if she married a woman, I don't think they would have an issue there either. But who knows? Let's see. Comments. These are people who knew the pain of losing a child and still chose to throw away another child. So see, I didn't get that point. It's like I saw this like that the language that they were using is like, oh, give away my daughter, rather than say like the child's name. It's like, oh, like like I said, they wanted that validation. They wanted that validation of feeling that way. It's like they wanted the validation of giving away their child or being a grandparent. They wanted that. They made it about themselves, basically. And that's not okay. Bet the parents only want to see if the kids are white passing or not before they get involved. If they have such a problem with the husband being darker complexion, they're definitely going to be negative towards the kids who may also be darker complexion. See, it's like that's also a thing where it's like if the kids were like lighter skinned, they would probably be more accepted. But since they're not, it's like, oh, since they're probably like more kind of like a mixed tone, it's probably like not going to be a good situation anyways. Um but if the poster decided to include pictures of the husband of the kids, which I don't think that they should have done anyways, if they even thinking about, it's like I honestly think it wouldn't really change much just because of the way they worded it. But like I said, some parents are just awful. It's just stupid. It's like just garbage people. Moving on. Oh, there's a lot of racist stories. I just realized like a lot of the top posts are really racist. Um, my boyfriend doesn't want to marry me because I'm an immigrant. It's like that. Okay, it's like technically we're all immigrants in a sort of way if you live in like America, which apparently the poster does live in America. Um, it's like technically we're all immigrants because we came from overseas. It's like, yeah, there are Native Americans that kind of got pushed out from all the immigrants, and it's like it's just awful. But okay, so 20 there's a 29-year-old female. 29-year-old female, moved to the US 7 years ago as a grad school student from Indonesia. I met my boyfriend, 30-year-old male, a few months after I moved, and we've been together ever since. My boyfriend is a U.S. citizen. After I graduated, we had a serious discussion about where our relationship was headed. I made it very clear that I wanted to eventually get married and have children. My boyfriend echoed the sentiments. I remember asking him if he saw that happening with me because I didn't want to be in a relationship with no future. He told me he loved me and that we were definitely headed in that direction. As of last week, we've been dating for 7 years. We've occasionally talked about marriage, but we were both busy with our respective careers, so the timing didn't seem quite right. However, recently my company announced that there's a chance that my department's work will be outsourced. I'm on an H-1B visa, temporary worker, so this means that I needed to start looking for a job ASAP if I wanted to continue staying in the US. Last week, during our anniversary, I brought this up. I asked him if he thought it was the right time to think about getting married, as that will also help with sorting out my visa issues. He looked like he was about to vomit. After much prodding, he confessed that he wasn't planning on us getting married before I was able to get a green card, permanent resident in the US. I was incredibly confused because he'd never mentioned this before. His reason was that he didn't want to be used as a visa mule, his words, not mine, by me, that he wanted to make sure that I married him because I loved him and not because it was a ticket to getting to stay in the US, which can only happen when I get a green card. It took me a while to process what he said, and I asked if he'd be okay to move to Indonesia with me, which he wasn't. I did not react well and ended up leaving because I couldn't deal with what just happened. I am still in disbelief. I started dating him because he was the kindest, most thoughtful, and generous person I'd met. I now feel like I wasted 7 years. While the visa issues are certainly a problem, I did not date him with the intention of making him my safety net. I cannot believe that even after nearly a decade together, he doesn't know what kind of person I am. I feel like this relationship is possibly over and it hurts. It hurts so much. Okay, though I do have a problem with the fact that it's like you've been here for 7 years. If you're not still in school, you should have eventually said like decided whether or not you wanted to become a permanent resident and actually work towards that green card, because it just seems really weird that it's like you're here for almost a decade and you're still on a temporary visa. It's like 7 years is not temporary, like at all. It's like that's really weird, and it's like it seems like you were trying to get him to be what he said was a visa mule. It's like that's just my initial take on it. It's like I wonder if the update is actually gonna say anything and like clarify some stuff. But that's just my initial take on it. It might be a little controversial, but I just find it a little weird that you've been in this country for 7 years and it just you didn't work towards anything. You didn't work towards actually like deciding, oh, I want to be a permanent resident because I want to live with my partner. And I want to marry my partner and actually like live the rest of my life here. That's just my take on it. It's like I'm hoping that I get a little bit of clarification in the update. If there is any clarification at all, but we'll see. So anyways, the update. A few days back, I made a post about how my boyfriend of 7 years didn't want to marry me because I was an immigrant on an H-1B and he didn't want to be a visa mule. I got a lot of wonderful comments and DMs, a few trolls too, but that's expected from Reddit. Because the thread got locked and the post was subsequently removed because I have a low karma account, I was unable to respond to anyone. I'm posting this update to do that, plus add in some more things that have transpired since, TLDR at the bottom. Addressing some of the stuff in the comments. I've been on an H-1B visa for a bit more than 2 years now. I was on STEM OPT for about 3 years after grad school. Okay, so I am getting clarification. I had terrible luck with the H-1B lottery and got one in the last run I was eligible to apply in. See, this is... Okay, I'm getting actual clarification here. Okay, because I was going to say, you want a work visa for 7 years? Because you said you were a grad school student, but it's like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that was the only problem I had with it, so this makes sense. Getting PR in the U.S. is not easy. I know people who've been here for 15 years who are still waiting for their PR. For those of you who DM'd me calling me a gold digger, you guys made me laugh out loud. I am aware of the legalities around sponsoring a spouse for a PR, including the financial aspect. It shouldn't have been a problem for the following reason. I'm a STEM major who recently shifted into management. I work for a large company and I do well for myself. My boyfriend is a teacher and our incomes are not comparable. He earns around 60,000. I earn close to 300,000. We've been living together for about 6 years. We have a shared account to pay for expenses like rent and utilities that we both deposit a percentage of our salary into. The rest of our money goes into our own private accounts, and we don't manage each other's money. Because I'm pretty frugal, I've saved up quite a bit of money in the form of savings and investments. If my boyfriend was worried about the legality of sponsoring me financially for 10 plus years, I would have happily discussed moving the money around. I was even considering buying a house so we can have made that a joint ownership thing. The point is, we could have figured it out. I haven't relied on him financially ever, and I didn't intend on doing that in the future. I might not have considered everything, but you have to note that I thought about the marriage for visa thing very recently, only when the threat of possibly having to leave loomed over me. That isn't something I thought about in detail at all. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Regarding my situation back home in Indonesia, I come from a very religious and conservative family and had a horrible childhood. My family doesn't support my career choices. I cut contact with my family when I moved to the US, so they are not in the picture at all. I was on great terms with boyfriend's family. They love me. Okay, now for the actual update. He is now my ex-boyfriend, okay? I took a few days to collect myself and then reached out to him, wanting to talk. He agreed. It turns out that he has been insecure about earning less than I did for a while. Apparently his friends have been poking fun at our relationship, calling me the sugar mommy, because I take care of most of the expenses. He never told me this until now. He apparently didn't feel like an equal because our pay differs so much, and started feeling that I was only with him as a quick way to get a PR here. I was speechless. I couldn't believe that his friends gaslighted him into doubting our relationship. I reminded him how he supported me when I was in grad school, like getting me groceries when I had little money to spare, allowing me to stay with him rent-free in my last year of grad school to help me minimize expenses so I didn't have to take out a loan, letting me use his car when I was attending interviews. I told him that he did them because he loved me, and me taking on the majority of household expenses since I started working is my way of paying him back for all the things he did for me back then. He said that he gets what I'm saying, but also that he didn't expect me to start earning more than him straight off the bat. I asked if there was any chance he'd consider going to couples therapy like some of you had suggested, and he declined because he didn't think he was being unreasonable. He said that he wanted to be the provider in a relationship and that he didn't feel like one in ours. So there's no going back from this unless I quit my job and found another that pays substantially less, which isn't going to happen. Well, long story short, we broke up. His family is in disbelief. They were hoping he would propose soon. I've moved into an Airbnb for now. Okay, a little bit of good news to end this update with. My company offered me a similar role in a different department. However, this is based out of France and there's a small decrease in pay. I've always dreamed about living in Europe and I've accepted this offer. I signed the relocation agreement and I'll move there in the next 8 to 12 weeks. TLDR, boyfriend was insecure about earning less than me. Boyfriend has now become an ex-boyfriend. Company offered a new job. Leaving US in 2 to 3 months to start a new life in France. Alonsi. Okay, so that gave a lot of information that was kind of missing in the original post. But I'm glad that they actually clarified some stuff because I was really concerned that that they were here for the longer than the visa was kind of valid for. But since they had other stuff going on, it also added on to that time. So that makes sense. And I'm really sad that the boyfriend was kind of insecure about learning less because it's like it doesn't matter what the financial situation looks like. It sounded like you were really well off basically. Like you were doing really well with each other. It's like, yeah, she was earning more than you, but it's like if you're that insecure about it, talk about it, go to couples therapy, find a way to connect with one each other and see how that goes from there, because it just doesn't seem like he wanted to be the breadwinner basically. He wanted to be the man of the house. He wanted to be the big chief. He wanted to be the basically the person who brought the bacon home. That I'm just looking for all the analogies, but it just doesn't seem like he was he didn't seem to think that well of his partner. And I'm really glad that in the end they broke up, which is what I expected that they were going to do. And then that she's going to live her dream life, basically. And maybe she'll find a new partner. Maybe she'll find somebody else who actually learn to actually accept her in her like dreams and her financial situation, and actually support her and support each other in a more reasonable way, because he was being really unreasonable. It's like he said that he wasn't being unreasonable, but he was being really unreasonable. But yeah. Okay, last story that I have lined up. My wife and her best friend accused me of having an affair, then got angry when I didn't have one. Trigger warning, child neglect, and suicide. This was previously posted here 4 years ago, I believe. Um, okay, so 2021, August 2021, it seems. So almost 4 years ago. I, a 31-year-old male, and my wife, 29 female, had a baby last December. It was a traumatic birth, and my wife developed postpartum depression. While she was originally going to go back to work after the birth, she's been struggling enough that we decided to wait until our daughter was a year old and reassess. She has been going to therapy weekly. With my wife home full-time, I've had to work increased hours. This is something we discussed prior to making this decision, and she knew this from the start. A few weeks ago, my boss approached me about a project that would require a lot of overtime in a short amount of time. It would both be great financially and for my career. I talked to my wife about it, and she agreed that I should say yes to my boss. For the 4 weeks I've been working on this, my mother-in-law and her best friend Jessie, 29 female, name changed, would come help out with some of the duties that I typically do. Jessie is a stay-at-home mom with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. She began coming over during the day and would watch the kids with my wife. 3 weeks into the project, it became clear that we needed a few more weeks to get it together. I went home that night and talked to my wife about it. She said she was okay with it, but got very cold in the days after. It was an unusual behavior over the past few months, so I didn't think much about it and tried not to take it personally. During the last week of the project, I got home one night and saw that Jessie was still at the house. I didn't think much about it, said hi to her and my wife, then went to check on our daughter. Before I get to her room, I heard Jessie say something along the lines of, "He doesn't even stop to greet you, definitely a sign." I turned around and asked what it was a sign of. Immediately, my wife started crying, and Jessie started accusing me of having an affair. She told me that I must hate my wife because she has postpartum depression. I am not attracted to her because she gained weight from the pregnancy. Neither of these things are true. I'm trying my best to help my wife through her postpartum depression while supporting our family, and I think she looks great how she is right now. She just hasn't wanted to have sex, and I haven't pushed. Well, I'm also under the personal belief that if you're pregnant, don't have sex. Just don't. That's just my personal belief. It's like, because you never know what might happen with the complications. You never know. Jessie then demanded to see my phone. I told her no. She told me that it's a sign that I'm guilty. I told my wife that I would let her see my phone if she wanted to. She nodded and something inside me broke. I guess it was the thought that she actually believed I was having an affair really got to me, and that she didn't trust me after everything we'd been through. Well, she looked through my phone and there was no evidence. Jessie started saying that I deleted the evidence. Jessie is her best friend or the mother-in-law's best friend? Because the best friend has no right going through your phone anyways. It's none of her business, plus it's a privacy thing. She started screaming and woke up our daughter, so I told her to get out of the house. Eventually she left, and I went to calm our daughter since my wife was still on the couch crying. When my daughter was asleep again, I sat down with my wife and tried to talk to her about what's been happening. She told me she's been worried ever since I started working all the overtime. I told her that we talked about how good of an opportunity it was, and she agreed to let me take on the project. She said it was very suspicious to increase the length of the project. I told her that sometimes that happens. She wanted more evidence, so I showed her messages and emails with timestamps from work and pay stubs showing the overtime. She said she believed me and was sorry for doubting me. Why didn't you do that in the first place? It was just that Jessie had been telling her that these were all signs that I was cheating. I asked her why she believed Jessie more than me, and why she didn't come to me with her concerns. She didn't have a real answer. It's been a couple of weeks, and the project is over. I actually scaled back and am trying to work a little less than I was before the project so I can spend more time with my wife and daughter. But I feel so burnt out trying to do everything and becoming resentful because in the back of my mind, I know that my wife doesn't trust me. I ask myself, what happens the next time I have a project, or I have to run errands one day, or if I have a business trip? Am I going to come back every time to accusations that I'm cheating? I've tried bringing it up a couple times, but my wife tells me it's not the time that she's tired or sad. I try to be mindful of her feelings, but I wonder if that means that I can never have any of my own. I'm not sure what to do. Any advice for how I can move forward? Screw the best friend. Screw the mother-in-law. Um, it's like the best friend should not be making gossip of stuff. It's like the partners, like the actual husband and wife, should be having the conversations, not some random person like third wheeling basically. It's like it's none of her business. It's like she shouldn't be going through someone else's phone anyway. It's like, let me see your phone. I want to see evidence that you're not cheating. It's like, okay, here you go. But it's like she should have asked like, oh, like I want to see the evidence of like your actual projects because you're not telling the truth. And it's like, okay, here you go. Here's all the evidence. It's like he shouldn't have handed over his phone or anything. He should have just said, well, I have the proof here that I've been working on this project. But it's like I personally think that it's like if the wife doesn't trust him, then they should absolutely break up. And that's not really fair to the child at that point because it's like I personally was a victim of divorced parents at a young age, so I didn't really get to know my dad at all. Um, Eventually we reconnected, but it was bad. It's like I lived my most of my life with my mom and my stepdad, but it is it's just horrible trying to work that out, especially with a 1 year old child. It's absolutely horrible. But okay, the update was I believe 4 days later. Thank you to everyone for all of the advice and support on my previous post. I think a lot of you pointed out what should have been obvious, that I needed to get a therapist and start looking after my own mental health. A couple people asked for an update, so I'm giving one, but it's not happy. That night I approached my wife and told her that I was going to find a therapist. I didn't connect her to her accusations or anything, just said I was having a tough time and needed therapy. She shrugged and told me to do whatever. Next day, I got home from work and our room and my home office were ripped apart. Things everywhere, important papers scattered, but I don't see her. But our daughter is in her room crying. My wife left her alone. Her cell phone's off. I called my in-laws and a few friends, but no one's seen her. I'm starting to get worried, and I called my mom to see if she can babysit while I go out and look for her. Before my mom can get home, my wife gets back. Jesse's driving. Jessie doesn't come in. She hasn't been back in the house since I kicked her out because she was offended by my behavior. She was offended? She was offended? But my wife does. She's clearly upset, been crying. I asked what happened. I thought at first the house might have been robbed. She starts screaming at me that I'm being unfaithful and that the therapy is a front so I can meet my mistress. I try to calm her down and tell her that's not true, but she came at me and she hit me. My nose is broken. She kind of realized what she did and sat down on the couch and went comatose, just stared at the wall. I went into my daughter's room, locked the door. I called my mom to tell her what happened. She was already on her way, and my mother-in-law to ask her to come over and take care of my wife. I packed a bag for my daughter, and when my mom got there, we left. My wife didn't even look up. We dropped my daughter off with my dad and then went to urgent care for my nose. I got blood all over my mom's new Subaru. My daughter and I are staying with my parents for a while, and my wife's staying with hers. I'm looking into getting a restraining order against Jessie. My wife and I are separating. I love her, but I won't live with someone who hurts me and who could potentially hurt our daughter. I'm not going forward with a divorce yet, with the hopes that my wife will get treatment she needs and we can work things out. My in-laws told me that they're looking at an inpatient treatment at a local hospital, but I also have everything well documented in case of an eventual custody battle. My heart's broken because I know this isn't my wife. This is a sickness in her mind, but I need to keep myself and our daughter safe and give her the space to recover. I'm hoping that this is the right decision. Thanks again, everyone. Edit. Thank you all for your feedback. I've talked to my parents after reading your comments and came to the conclusion that for my daughter's protection, I need to file a police report. I'm headed to the station now. Okay, so the best friend, Jessie, got in the wife's head. The wife is the one that needs therapy. The wife is an abuser because she believes in something that's not true. She saw all the proof, but she still thinks that he was cheating. Awful. Awful person. Awful people, really. And I'm hoping that the dad got out of there and is never going to have contact with her again. I hope he gets full custody because it's awful, awful behavior behind it. Um, okay, so there's another update a couple days later. TLDR, a woman fed lies to my wife, suffering from postpartum depression that led to a mental breakdown and her death. What? Oh yeah, there was suicide at the beginning. She now wants to speak at my wife's funeral. Denying her would start trouble, which I'm not sure would be worth it. There's more context for the situation in my post history, okay? My wife passed on early Monday morning. Convinced by her friend that I was having an affair that I did not have, she had a mental break, which resulted in my taking our infant daughter and staying with my parents for a while. She was with her parents, who planned on taking her to the hospital for inpatient treatment on Monday. On Sunday night, she came to my parents' house and demanded that I give her our daughter. Because she had left her alone for several hours the last time she was responsible for her and had gotten physical with me, I refused. I offered to let her come in and spend time with her while my parents and I were present, but she didn't want to come in and wanted to take our daughter with her. She was upset, but left eventually. A few hours later, she drove her parents' car into a tree and died. The friend, Jessie, came to see my daughter and me yesterday. After some tears, she told me she was planning to speak at my wife's funeral. She had already cleared it with my in-laws, but was letting me know as a courtesy. I told her she would not speak. She would not be speaking at the funeral. We fought, and she left after telling me I was an asshole and not the only person who loved my wife. Well, you were an asshole too! To the dude! What the heck? I talked to my in-laws, who were adamant that Jessie be allowed to speak. She and my wife knew each other since they were kids, and my in-laws are close to her. We're all very fragile right now, and I feel that pushing this further would hurt my relationship with my in-laws, which I don't want. Still, the thought of seeing Jessie up there at my wife's funeral makes me sick. I don't think I can stand to listen to her, knowing that she took joy in my wife's deteriorating mental health and picked up my wife, leaving my daughter home alone. That being said, I don't trust myself to make the best decisions right now. My mind's clouded by grief, guilt, and fear. My parents are split on what to do, and I don't have the energy to reach out to my friends. So I'm coming here again to ask for your advice. Thank you. Wow. It's like I completely blanked on the fact that there was a trigger warning at the start that had suicide, but it's like I thought it was gonna be like something else, but holy shit, the best friend is an asshole. It's like absolutely despicable woman. It's like, what is wrong with her? It's like she got into this woman's head and it's like, oh, he's cheating on you. Oh, he has a mistress. It's like there was no evidence of it. You're just gossiping for the sake of gossiping. And then it's like you have the gall to say that it's like, oh, like I knew her longer, so I'm right in the situation. It's like, fuck this lady. Get out of here. It's like awful, awful person. It's like, okay, reading the comments. This is the most depressing Othello-esque story I've ever read. I don't know what Othello is, but I agree, it is very depressing. Um, can we recategorize this to worst of Redditor updates? Because I need an adult. Yeah, I might read that if there's an actual subreddit, because that sounds interesting. I didn't realize it existed. Jesse's drama already got one person killed, and she's not done yet. Almost got two killed. Original poster, refusing to let his wife take their daughter probably saved her life. True. My niece was with her dad, and her dad, I believe, hit a tree. Awful. I'm glad Reddit convinced him the wife was a danger to his child. It is tragic enough that one person died in that car. Yeah. It's like that was a dodge bullet and a half. It's absolutely crazy that it's like, oh, I want to take my daughter, and then the mother hit a tree. It's like I personally believe that the dad didn't need therapy, the wife needed therapy, because it seemed like her taking out her frustration on him was causing him to rethink the whole thing. So just awful altogether, but that's just how life goes sometimes. It's absolutely despicable people. It's like I'm concerned if I ever decide to get married or date or have children or whatever, because I'm concerned that I'm going to be dealing with a lot of baggage, because like I said before, I've always had a struggle taking care of my own self. It's like I can't take care of other people. I don't have the mental ability to do so. It's just I just don't. It's just stupid having people come to someone like needing that support and needing that help, and I wouldn't be able to do it. I just wouldn't. um so I'm hoping that the dad got out of there and was able to live a happy life, because the post was made nearly 4 years ago. So the daughter is now 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, maybe six. I'm not entirely sure. um so I'm hoping that they're living their best life, and they moved on.